Alright, hello there guys, and we are back for more Metal Gear Solid 2 action. So basically, this is our new character for the plant chapter. We will not be switching characters again for the rest of the game. It's kind of disappointing, too, because, I mean, look at this guy. I do not want to control this guy for the rest of this game. I know this game is pretty long, too. But I gotta do it. So a little interesting thing about him, like Snake does combat rolls. If you tap the crawl button or the X button or whatever while you're running like this, he does like a combat roll. If you do the same thing while playing as Raiden, he has a combat cartwheel. Woohoo! 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 And seriously, it's just impossible to take that seriously. If you can take that seriously, then you're a much more serious person than I am. As you can see, there's a console over here for controlling things. We can't do anything with it, of course. So let's just move on. What the hell's that noise? Ah, someone just got their ass beaten. Ooh, my head hurts. Well, whoever was beating him up, they clearly got out of that area in a hurry.
Colonel, I've sighted an enemy sentry. AN-94 and a Makarov. Those grenades, all his equipment, is Russian-made.
Interesting.
Grabukovich, man.
Grabukovich?
A Russian private army that was in line to work with the Shadow Moses takeover group 4 years ago.
What's their stake in this one?
They must have made a deal, an arrangement with the terrorists.
An arrangement with terrorists, because you know that always goes well.
Without a country.
Because terrorists are the best people to negotiate with. Yeah, well, anyway. Let's move on and follow the guy who just got beaten up. If that's what realistic, it would be like, huh, who's that? Yeah, that's my impersonation of a gun noise. And then the game would just end in the middle of a cutscene. That would be the entirety of the plant chapter. Wait, that's Solid Snake. Alright, it's time for another Kodak call.
Colonel, there's definitely another intruder in here besides me.
That's not a possibility.
Not a team.
Don't be so closed-minded, Colonel.
One man.
We may not know who he is, but he managed to take care of every sentry in the area. They're all out cold. Whoever he is, he's got some skills.
We need to get an ID. But for now, you can take advantage of the situation and get to work. There's a terminal in front of the elevator. A node.
Oh.
Did you say nerd?
Not nerd.
Right, you
node.
idiot.
Use the node
Obviously,
to gain
how can you
access to
convert,
the
use the
Big
words
Shell's facilities
nerd
network.
and node? How's it even
Pull up
possible?
a map of the structure. That'll let you activate the Soliton radar.
The Soliton radar? True. That radar came in useful during VR training.
A radar system uses biological magnetic fields as input. These estimated enemy positions are projected onto a map according to reference points collected via GPS signals and field personnel reports. We need to get to the map through the Big Shell's node to put this data processing to practical use. The node unit is about 3 feet high. Should be colored blue. Each area has at least one.
How do I gain access?
Just push the action button in front of the node.
That sounds simple enough.
I
thought it would be a complex hacking minigame. But instead, I just use the nanomachines and just lets me access it.
If they spot you, you won't be able to gain access for a while. Stay on guard.
Got it.
What the hell? Why didn't he climb up properly? Okay. Well, thankfully, this nice intruder has knocked out all the guards for me, so I don't have to worry about them spotting me and taking away my ability to use the node.
You won't be able to use any of the enemy's equipment.
Why not?
You should know that all active weapons are equipped with a personal identification system.
Personal identification
the owner enters
system?
the required user ID information during the weapon registration or at the start of a mission. If anyone other than the registered user tries to fire the weapon, the ID system will not authorize the action.
So how exactly does it know who is trying to fire the weapon? Is there like a fingerprint sensor on the trigger or something?
They must have been customized by the terrorists themselves. These are professionals we're dealing with, and they certainly won't let their own equipment be used against them.
Professional terrorist negotiators.
Field gear?
Right.
How am I supposed
And professional
to
terrorist fighters.
Find the ones that haven't yet been individualized. Everything you find in the item box is clean. You should know this from your VR training.
The item box? I guess that's like the box that you see all the items floating around
Items are
in.
yours to use at will. They will be your supply source with regards to weaponry and gear.
Right, now let's activate the nerd. Epic slow motion touching. Oh, he's about to touch it. Wow, that has to be painful. He just touches it and he gets electrocuted while the nanomachines fill in all the data and all that. It's easy but painful. And now we must enter a code name. Yeah, I think that works. I'm not gonna enter my actual name, especially since it's supposed to be a code name. Alright, finished downloading the map data, and why would I want to access the options menu? I have no idea. Now we get an extremely important call. So important that I couldn't refuse.
Good work, Raiden.
The radar should be functioning now.
Remember your VR training sessions. The tool is exactly the same one. It maps the terrain as well as the position of enemy personnel.
That sounds useful.
The bright dot in the middle is you, Raiden. The red dots are your enemies.
You know, maybe this information would have been useful at the beginning of the tanker chapter. Like, when a player will be new to the game, but
by an enemy, you won't be able to
like,
use it.
if they get to this point in the tanker plant mode, then that means they already played through the entirety of the tanker portion, and they must have already learned how the radar works.
Harmonic resonance, so be careful. The big shell's layout map should now be available after touching the start button.
Yeah, don't push the start button, just touch it and the layout will appear.
Proprietary frequency for saves.
There's a big difference between touching and pushing.
Jack, is everything all right?
What are you doing here?
Hey, who's that?
Jack, can you hear me?
Rose, you're not supposed to be involved. What's going on?
Jack, I'm a part of this mission.
I can see
What the
that.
hell is going on?
Raiden, meet the mission analyst. She'll be overseeing the data saving and support.
Why her?
The Foxhound analyst that was supposed to take part in this mission was in an accident.
Accident?
Rosemary was brought in as a replacement.
Sounds fishy to me, but
And according to the files, she knows you better than anybody else.
Rose may be in the service, but an intelligence analyst is no field officer.
Not to worry. She has our technical staff at her disposal.
She's never been a part of a field mission. This is insane.
I have my own reasons for selecting her for this mission, soldier.
Colonel, I fail to see.
I know your VR training performance in and out, but sometimes that's not enough. You're
I
familiar
mean,
with
how are you
the
going to get
shot
through this game if you can't save your data?
In VR.
If there's a crucial tactical detail that case taught us, it was the power of the operative's will to survive.
What does that have to do with
I
anything?
fight. My personal feelings have no place in a mission.
We've learned that it doesn't work that way. And on the field, you need all the help you can get.
Jack, you're stuck with me whether you like it or not.
Rose,
You need someone to watch your back. But I have conditions that need to be met, Colonel.
What is it?
I'll perform my duties
maybe
and
those
save
should have
that
been
mission data,
discussed
but I'm
before the
aware
mission
that
started.
technically I'm not part of the mission control team. After all, I'm just a normal girl who's worried about Jack. But that means, Colonel, that I am not required to follow your orders outside of my immediate duties. Jack is not simply a field personnel for me to track. His safety comes first to me, not the mission.
So these two obviously
And
have a
because of
relationship.
that, I will be
of some sort.
monitoring and keeping a record of every communication you have with him, Colonel.
Given the circumstances, you're free to do what you see fit.
Also, apparently the Colonel is mildly retarded because I don't know any.
I'd like to make a
I don't think there's
request, if I
any
may.
actual I don't think there's any actual leader like this or colonel or whatever
Could you call
that
him
would
that?
actually accept terms
Yes,
like
sir.
that.
All right, Raiden. Let me know when
I
you're
have a
ready
feeling
to
she's
turn
gonna
my save.
have to take some
The
time to get used to
proprietary
calling him
save
Raiden.
frequency is 140.96. I just switched frequencies. Jack,
What?
do you know what day it is tomorrow?
April 30th. Is there
Hey, that's not
something
day with
special
it.
about it?
That's not what day it is tomorrow.
I can't remember.
Oh
I'm
wait,
sorry.
this game.
Oh, well.
It would be cool if
I'll
the
keep
game
trying
actually
until I
tried to
hear the
determine
answer.
what game
I'm gonna
what
let
day
you
it
go
was
now,
tomorrow
Jack.
based on
Take
the
care.
time on your PS3 or whatever. Fortunately, it doesn't do that. As you can see, these guys are about to wake up. It's something that I didn't tell you before. I probably should have explained during the tanker chapter. If you beat someone up, basically like just beat them unconscious with your hands and fists.
Find somewhere to hide
Hands and
until
fists,
the
what am I
elevator
saying?
arrives. You must
If you just
stay
beat them
outside.
unconscious with physical attacks, then you'll be knocked out instead of just falling asleep or whatever. And after a short period of time, they will wake up and be all like that. The enemy attacked me, and then they'll call it in caution mode. But you can actually tell how much longer someone is going to be out by how many stars they have above their head. As the stars disappear, the less stars there are, the sooner it'll be before they wake up. Of course, that guy will not be waking up since I just broke his neck. And now we are finally out of the bottom of Strat A. And now we get to see his face. His beautiful, beautiful face. Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty? The name of their leader is Solid Snake.
That's what happens when the Tea Partiers decide to actually act on what they believe.
That's why you changed my code name.
Right, but he can't be the Solid Snake.
They insist that either they have to be given $30 billion or the U.S. government has to get rid of 90% of all their taxes.
Not a chance.
And apparently they've been fed incorrect information because apparently they believe that Solid Snake blew up that tanker and died in the resulting explosion.
Daylight VR training after all. Stay extra sharp until you can find a node to log in from.
What about the commandos?
SEAL Team 10 has landed on struts B and C.
Okay, so they're not on this strut.
Seems he was spotted on strut B.
Strut B?
The big shell is comprised of shells 1 and 2. Each unit consists of a central core and 6 struts surrounding it.
That's an interesting
So the
design
whole
for a
thing is
building
shaped
like
two
this.
hexagons connected end on end.
Exactly. And you're on the roof of strut A, shell 1 at the moment.
So I don't need to do much traveling before I get to strut B then. That's good.
First, get to a node. Log into the network.
Got it.
Yes, we must log into the nerd once again. As soon as we find it, I mean. Anyway, you can climb on top of this and grab some bandages. We didn't actually get to use any of those during the tanker chapter, but chances are we may or may not end up using some of those during the plant chapter. I'm not entirely sure. And if you go near that area, you'll get a codec call.
Raiden, look at that wire fence. You may be able to crawl through it.
And like with this view that they give you, you can see there's a small hole right there.
Button. Then push the left stick in the direction you want to move. Push the crawl button.
Colonel, what
again
happened to your
to
voice?
Stand up. You can use weapons even while crawling. This is
It's like his
different from
voice
VR
went weird
training,
for a second.
So you keep that in mind.
And I kind of felt really dumb when I first played this game. I didn't see that hole there, and since that's the only way to progress, well, all the doors here are locked and there's no other way to go, I spent quite a bit of time here wandering around being like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And that's why it's not always a good idea to play a game 100% blind.
Right. SEAL Team 10 is in.
Do we really have no line of communication?
Yes, I know
with
they're
the
in.
SEALs?
They don't know a thing about us. You know we work in the dark, and this mission is no exception.
Well, it isn't
Only a few people
dark.
know about your
There's sunlight.
presence
How
here.
can we work in the dark when there's
There's no need
sunlight?
for
I don't
concern.
understand.
This operation is under Pentagon's direct command, and the NSDD came from the Vice President and the Secretary of Defense. Your mission may be top secret, but it's gone through the usual channels.
Alright, so far we've had way too many calls with the Colonel. I mean, seriously. Alright, the game's taking control for me, so we can do this.
I'll go check the roof. I'll leave the first floor to you, okay? Understood.
Okay, there's the node. Now we get to call the Colonel again.
Colonel, I've located the node, but it's under heavy surveillance. I
Heavy
can't get it
surveillance?
any
There's
closer.
one guy guarding
Distract
it.
them.
It's not
Try
heavy
making
surveillance.
some noise to draw their attention away.
How?
Flatten yourself against a wall and hit the punch button.
Got it.
Okay. Just need to do that and, Alright, that should be a pretty useful ability. You can distract the guards whenever you need to do it. And we get to see the options menu again for some reason. You just need to wait for this guy to move now. Alright, we've reached the A-B connecting bridge, so this is the right way to go. This could be a problem. There's 2 sentries right there, and there's no easy path around them. Now we call the Colonel again.
Raiden, watch out. There are sentries posted on the connecting bridge. They will spot you if you continue on course.
Any recommendations?
Use the hanging mode.
Hanging?
Face any waist-high railing and push the action button to clear the railing and hang over the side. Once there, you can move sideways while keeping out of enemy sight.
All right, I'm giving it a try.
Don't forget the grip gauge. It will keep decreasing during a hanging maneuver, and once it runs out, you will fall.
Copy that.
Wait a second. I
What is
just
that?
intercepted new intelligence on the operation being executed by SEAL Team 10.
Intercepted?
Oh.
As I said
So that's what that
before,
noise was.
They need to be kept in the dark about our presence.
So we just listen in.
I'm patching it through.
Okay.
This is Alpha Zero. We have the president. Is he safe? He is safe. What about the package?
The package?
Tell the guys upstairs that we've secured the package. Easy money. Good work.
Okay, so Ryan's mission is now pointless.
Come on home. Roger that. Holy! Alpha Zero, report. Damn it, come on, the president! Come in, Alpha Zero. This is Alpha Zero.
I love how the Alpha guys were all like, easy money.
Alpha Zero, respond.
But then they all got slaughtered like that.
Alpha, respond.
Raiden, the president's life is in danger. Head to Strut B now.
Alright, let's get going. Alright, guys right there, I can see him on the radar. Alright, and if I can pull it off properly, there's a little thing I like to do here that I just find kind of entertaining to do. Alright, get right here and but he didn't see that. But he didn't see that one coming. The best part is there's no real consequence to doing that because the exit is right here. You can just leave and you won't be able to wake up or call in the caution mode because you'll be leaving so quickly. Now it's time for another cutscene.